So welcome to the NC Skills and the NEBOSH National General Certificate course video. We're just going to start off with video 1 and I'll tell you a little bit about the course. But while I do this, we'll actually open up the guidance that is produced by NEBOSH. And that's the best way to look at what's involved in the course. So just quickly onto it's just one slide here, one sort of page. Where we actually open up the guidance. Okay, so we'll just shrink that, open up the guidance, and here we go. Okay, so this can be found on the NEBOSH National General Certificates website, which is NEBOSH, so www.nebosh.org.uk. Just make sure you've got the latest version. Okay, so first of all, we have an overview of what's in the guidance. I want to read through every single word. I'll just take a scan over it because I know your time is precious. So I'll take you through as much as I can in a short period of time, and then that hopefully you can then decide whether this is the course for you. And I'll also add in some of my own personal things as well. So I'm Martin from NC Skills, and I've been teaching this course full time since 2016. So I do know quite a lot about the course and the exam process, and I'll be creating a full series of videos to go with this, including distance learning, e-learning videos to supplement any distance learning or e-learning courses. So qualification overview. So here's our first table. Okay, the NEBOSH National General Certificate course, as I say, it's national. Okay, but we do have a lot of international students also sit the course. To be honest, it is. I personally think it's one of the better courses that NEBOSH run, or that NEBOSH have, and it's one of the kind of first courses. So the NEBOSH National General Certificate. There are various options to do NEBOSH Construction, NEBOSH International. Personally, I would be going down the NEBOSH National General Certificate route and then looking to branch out into other areas or international, for example. So we have 2 units. Okay, if it's a block course, a lot of providers run it over 2 weeks. So 1 week, for example, would be Unit NG1, and Unit NG2 would be effectively your week 2. Okay, but there are different ways to study the weeks, study the course. Okay, Unit NG1 is a management of health and safety. Okay, and Unit NG2 is what we call risk assessment. I'll take you through that in a few seconds. Okay, for Unit 1, and when we look at what we call assessments or exams, okay, we have Unit NG1. You will have an open book exam. Okay, we say an open book exam. Okay, this can be a bit confusing because it says 4 hours. Okay, you actually get 24 hours to complete it, and NEBOSH put down there as a guide that it will take you 4 hours to complete. Okay, so having ran this course when it was introduced, it used to be a closed book exam, but now we have, since 2020 when COVID occurred, we now have open book exams. So it means that you have a scenario to look at, telling a story about a workplace, which we'll cover in later videos, and then you will be asked questions based on that, and you'll be able to use your books as guidance. But as I say, most of the answers will be in the scenario. Okay, but you'll use the books to help you with the knowledge and be able to expand on your answers. I'll be honest, I would add a 1 before that. Give yourself 10 to 14 hours, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you and say it will take you 4 hours. Give yourself 10 to 14 hours. That's the kind of average if you want to do a good job at this exam. You have 24 hours to complete the exam. As I say, we'll cover this a wee bit later on, but it will start on an exam date, a set date, set by NEBOSH. It begins at 11 o'clock in the morning, and then finishes the next day at 11 o'clock. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Then we have Unit NG2. You'll have to complete what we call a risk assessment. Okay, not any old risk assessment. It's a risk assessment, a NEBOSH version of a risk assessment. So there's a little bit more to it. If you do have experience completing risk assessments already, you've got to try and forget about what you know already. Okay, part of the way we teach the course is we've got to NEBOSH you. We've got to do it the NEBOSH way. Okay, the actual, strangely enough, the people without experience in risk assessments do find it a bit easier. Okay, and the ones with experience, they've got to try and learn a different way to do things. Okay, a different way to do the risk assessment. Personally, I would give, it says 3 hours there, I would give yourself, a lot of course providers will give you 1.5 to 2 weeks to complete the risk assessment. So after your NG1 exam, you'll have 1.5 to 2 weeks. A lot of providers. Personally, I would take 30 minutes to an hour each night. Okay, so that is, so if it's 30 minutes, that's between 7 to 14 hours to complete this. Okay, if you want to make a good job at it. Okay, if you want to do well. Yeah. Different ways to study the course. We have full time. We have, the sort of 10-day course. You have day release, some providers do, and distance learning, which we will be starting up very, very soon. Hence the reason why we're going to be recording the full course materials on video. And hopefully there'll be an audiobook version as well, so that you can listen to it in the car. And with the audiobooks, there are audiobooks out there, but they only last about maybe 14 hours, considering it's 7 to 80 hours worth of material. So I'll be doing the full recording of the full material, or the majority of it anyway, to cover the syllabus. It'll take a while, but we'll get there. And I'll be posting it on YouTube. It will be free of charge, obviously. All you need to do is subscribe to access all the videos. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay. So this just talks about qualification level. Okay. It is, as I say, it's a 2-week course, but it's life-changing. It will change your life potentially, as long as you stick, you follow the guidance, and you don't give up. As they say, when you get the qualification, get some experience, and then it potentially change your life. So many students that have been in my class, and their life has changed for the sake of a 2-week course. Yeah, it's not a degree. There are degree equivalents, which is a level 6. Some people call this a level 3, for example. But it's life changing. I'm not saying it's a walk in the park, an attendance only. It's not an easy course. You do need to put the work in, but very, very rewarding. Okay. English speaking requirements. Okay. There'll be further guidance on that on the NEBOSH guidance. Yep. We only do the sort of English versions, but if you're internationally, there are other sort of languages that this course can be taught in, and other languages for the exam. Okay, as I say, this is the marks that you get for pass, credit, distinctions. Personally, a pass is a pass. Some people love to get distinctions and credits, but on your NEBOSH certificate, on your CV. If an employer wants somebody that's NEBOSH qualified, they're not really interested, to be honest, if you have a credit or a distinction. They want to know, do you have the qualification? Yeah? They don't need to know what your score was. Do you have the qualification, and do you have experience? Okay, experience is something we'll discuss in later videos, and how to gain that experience. Okay, without being in a health and safety role, for example, you can still get experience. Okay. So who have qualifications for? Just as an example, the people that we train come from all backgrounds, and a lot of them have no experience in health and safety. And even the ones with experience in health and safety, it's an eye-opener for them, especially the way we teach the course. So the course could be for managers, directors, and their organisation wants them to upskill them, for a manager to take on more health and safety responsibility, or understand what their existing responsibilities are. And also directors, and having the directors and senior management on the course can actually change the organisation significantly, and change the culture of the organisation, the health and safety culture. It's also for people wanting to work in health and safety. This is the minimum requirement if you want to be a health and safety practitioner. Health and safety practitioner is somebody that's maybe like a health and safety advisor or officer. The general term used is health and safety practitioner. Okay. So it's for anybody. We have people that are butchers, they're farmers, they've got very little health and safety experience, people that work in oil and gas, people that work in factories, shops, occasionally some people just out of school or just out of university as well that actually sit this course. So it is for anybody. Okay, personally for us, as long as you meet the English speaking requirements. Some providers will say you need health and safety experience. I'll be honest with you, you don't. Okay, you don't. That's experience that can be gained, and there's not really any suitable alternative to NEBOSH at your level 3 stage as an entry level to health and safety. There are SVQs and NVQs, which they're only competency based, but you need to have the good theoretical knowledge behind you. Okay. So benefits to you, as I say, you can read through the guidance yourself when you get to download the guidance. Okay, from the NEBOSH website. So nebosh.org.uk. Okay, in terms of the employer, as we go through the course materials, why the employer needs competent health and safety advice. Okay, and for yourself to have that, that knowledge yourself. Okay. In terms of memberships, once you have your NEBOSH National General Certificate, you can apply to NEBOSH to become a member of NEBOSH. Okay, the Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. Okay, so IOSH, you may have heard of IOSH before. So we've got the first level, which is an associate member of IOSH. Okay, and you could join right now if you want to, but you don't have your NEBOSH qualification, so it might not help you in any way. But it's good to it's a good starting point to get access to the IOSH website. Okay, and you can have letters after your name. Okay, so next time you write a birthday card, you can put Martin Crankshaw, that's my name, and then A IOSH. Okay, so you can pop that in your name. Very fancy. You can pop it after your emails and things like that. Okay, once you have your NEBOSH certificate, get some, you'll be handing in your CV to IOSH. They'll assess it to determine what level they're going to give you. They might just give you associate. Okay, it all depends on experience. What experience do you have? If you do have some experience before or after a qualification, then you might be awarded technical membership, but that's in a case by case situation. Okay, why would you want to join IOSH? Well, people do ask me, do I need to sit this course again in the future, every 5 years or every 3 years? Well, the answer is no. You join IOSH, okay, and within IOSH you will have a CPD system, so continual professional development system. So that allows you to develop yourself, whether it's attending training courses, whether it's getting involved in projects. The NEBOSH will give you the IOSH will give you the guidance on this. Okay, and you record all the work that you do, which you thought has developed you, and you record it on this CPD. Okay, and there's certain requirements for CPD once you're a member, and that's to show that you're still developing yourself, your knowledge, your experience in health and safety, without having to go and do a NEBOSH course again. The next level where you might go up to is a level 6 NEBOSH diploma, NVQ level 6, for example, or your bachelor's degree. These are your options. Okay. So technical membership of IOSH, and then you have chartered membership, and then graduate membership, and then your chartered membership are your next levels. If you go down your sort of higher level qualifications like your NEBOSH diploma and your NVQ level 6, but that's for a discussion to be had later on. Okay, so once you join IOSH, you'll also get access to resources, access to the IOSH website, a login page. You'll get a magazine either sent out to you by post or an electronic version, which I believe is cheaper for the electronic version. Because I run the training courses, I ask for the hard copy so that I can give it out to students during the course. And it's a good resource. It's got jobs, legislation updates, and prosecution information and who's been prosecuted that month for health and safety failings, etc. Okay. You can also join the International Institute of Risk and Safety Management, but a lot of people, some join both, to be honest. But as I say, this is a must. This is a must. When you look at a health and safety application or a health and safety job description, when you're applying for a job, they'll ask for a NEBOSH certificate as a minimum, usually, and technical member of IOSH they'll probably ask for. Okay. But as I say, as we go through course materials, we'll discuss this in a bit more detail. Okay. Just very briefly, as I'm conscious I don't want to take up too much of your time. Achieving the qualification, you have the 2 units. You've got to complete the 2 units within 5 years. Okay, within 5 years. There will be a resit fee, of course. Okay. Resetting the unit, you only have to reset the unit that you did not pass. Okay. So you don't need to reset the 2 units. Even if you passed one, you only need to reset the one you did not pass. Okay. So resetting NG1 to improve the grade. Don't worry about all this just now. Yeah. And finding places to study. Well, as I say, with your NC skills, you can use us. There are many other providers out there. Okay. So let's skip by some of this. This is stuff that's, talking about appeals process, etc. I'm not going to go through this now. Okay. I'll just skip on to the syllabus very briefly to talk through the syllabus. Okay. We have, this is a very brief version of it. Okay. These pages are very kind of brief. Yeah. Okay. The brief version. But that's us nearly at the end of the guidance. So week 1 is your first 4 elements. Sorry, I selected 5 there by mistake. There we go. Your first, can't select them. So first 4 elements. Okay. So this is the why we should manage health and safety. Looking at the foundations of health and safety, what health and safety is all about, health, safety and welfare. Looking at the criminal legal system, the civil legal system. Talking about 2 pieces of legislation, key pieces of legislation. The Health and Safety at Work Act and the Management of Health and Safety at Work Regulations 1999. Okay. Then we look at something called Health and Safety Management Systems and we introduce them. What is a Health and Safety Management System? Before we start to go through the 4 parts of the Health and Safety Management System. Okay. So we look at we plan for health and safeties within this part. Then we do it. Then we check. And then act. It doesn't say that here, but it's plan, do, check, act. Okay, we take you through the health and safety management system. Within actually it's actually element 3, so it's 4 elements. Okay, element 3 we teach you about risk assessment, the theory behind risk assessment. Okay, what is a risk assessment? What are the HSE's 5 steps to risk assessment? Okay, and then in the second week we look at all the there's more hazard categories in this, but we look at all the different hazard categories and types, and that's the second week. Okay, and these are the hazard categories and types that you need to know so that you can put it into your risk assessment. So we teach you what the risk assessment is, and then it's let's start. Let's do some homework. Let's create a risk assessment in a class. That's what we do. We introduce it from day 1 of the second week. Let's give you 1 hazard a night. Let's write it onto a risk assessment. Let's look at how it looks. Okay, and then you get the feedback. Okay, so we have physical and psychological health hazards, musculoskeletal, chemical and biological agents, general workplace issues, work equipment, fire, electricity, and there's a lot more hazards than that. Everything from violence in the workplace, drugs and alcohol, vehicles, workplace transport. Yeah, there's lots of different hazard categories. This is probably the second NG2. This is the material that you might be familiar with. So you might already know a little bit about it already. Okay. So that's just a wee short video. Okay, and this is a bit more detail, but this is a wee short video on the NEBOSH National General Certificate course. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, what I'll do in the comments to this video, I will pop down our email address. Email me with your YouTube username, and then I will then email you. I'll do a check to check that you have subscribed. Then I'll email you a link to our website, which is going to be full of resources and all the videos for the full course. Okay. But hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to your subscription.